Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the Badass Buddha, Lori Monaco, coming to you from a beautiful spring day. Today is the spring equinox. Today is the first day of spring. So, good morning, everyone, and we're happy for you to celebrate us with us. This is called the Spring Fling. That's what our show is today. So, good morning. Good morning, Gladiator Guru.
Good morning, mi gente. The spring equinox didn't even pay that no mind, but happy Tuesday, mi gente. Here we are, making the best of the best of the best. What movie is that from?
Don't
Gail,
know.
Kathy, buenos dias.
What movie is that from?
The best of the best of the best. Oh, I don't know. So I was asking you, but I know it's a funny movie. Who plays
Gladiator
in it?
Guru's got some news today.
Oh, yes. I became a grandmother day before yesterday, Sunday the 17th. She's 7 days early. Yeah, so Grand Rising, Bridget. So yeah, she was due on the 24th. I was hoping for the 27th, but I got the 17th, and she was 7 days ahead. So that seven is still prominent. So yes, very healthy, 7 pounds, beautiful, beautiful Mila. So people are like, are you so excited? I said it's number 5. No, I'm excited. Oh, I got a beautiful granddaughter, but yeah,
How does
I'm not going back
your
for.
granddaughter? How does your granddaughter feel about it? Was she did she she saw the baby, right?
We went yesterday because she had her late Sunday night. So we went yesterday, and she was like, "Oh, look at the baby! Look, pick her up! Look at the baby!" Then she wanted to hold the baby, but it was more like, "Put her back. I want to sit with you." Like she's just trying to find her way. So I told them they have to be very, very patient with her because she's gonna want to do everything for the baby because she sees all the baby getting the attention. And we're not
Yeah.
aware of it. Like, even as parents, I only had 2 myself, but we're not aware most of the time how this new thing needs so much more of our attention. But we're like, no, I don't treat them different. But you do, because now there's this new thing you have to take care of. So you just got to be very careful with that. I don't think it's ever done on purpose. But yeah, so she's excited to be the big sister. She's
Nice.
gonna play on that for a while. Everybody, the nurses were giving her "I'm a big sister" stickers yesterday, so she was kind of excited. But then her aunt
Nice.
comes, and the aunt's holding the baby. She's like, "Hey, why don't you just put the baby down and we go for a walk and get out of here?" How does a 3-year-old say that? And the aunt put the baby down and put her jacket on, and they took off and went shopping.
Oh my God! It was the 3-year-old that said that. I thought it was the aunt.
No, the 3-year-old was like, "Why don't you put the baby back and we'll go for a walk and we'll just get out of here."
That
So
is
yeah,
that is too funny.
yeah, Bridget. It's true because my sister's puppy just had 5 puppies, and the dad doesn't give two hoots about the litter. And there was one that was favored out of all the puppies, and that seems to be the chunkiest one. So yeah, there's one that stays far away. It's just, if you watch the dynamics of these little creatures, and how they do adjust, but they do separate when they don't feel the love. So yeah, I think anything that's alive feels that, even if you have a set of plants and you give more attention to one than the other. So yeah, I think it's just everything we talk about here on Viva. You know, the awareness, the awakening, the belonging.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so good morning, everyone. So it's the spring equinox today. It's the first day of spring. So we have an equal day to night ratio, which is pretty cool. Happens twice a year, spring equinox and then the autumn equinox. And then from this point going forward, the days are just going to keep getting longer as they've been. They've been getting longer. but today is equal. And today's called the Spring Fling because today is we're going to be talking about flinging yourself into the new you. Although I'm not feeling great, so I don't feel like flinging myself today, but that's okay. I'm going to fling myself back
Let's
into bed.
send her energy because
Yeah, I'm
she's
going to
been
fling
under the
myself
weather.
back into bed when as soon as we're done with broadcast today. Um, but good morning to a lot of people today. So Warnett, my friend Warnett is on. Good morning to my sister Leanne, Tiffany. Uh, let's see, Linda McBee is on too. A lot of people we're seeing that we haven't seen in a while. So thank you for being here today. And don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe. If you're coming through Facebook and you haven't done it so already, go make sure you go check out our channel on YouTube and follow us and subscribe to us, which would be great. We're trying to build our presence on YouTube. That's become the important thing for this year. But, let people know where you are this morning so they could be a part of this as well. We always like our tribe to be a part of the conversation. So we're always looking for comments from all of you. And that's that. So let's get going. All right. So what do we want
Yes,
to
I
talk
one question though, Leanne. Where Oh, well, I wanted to ask Leanne since she's on. How is that part of Spain? I've never been to that part. That's the space in between France and Spain, right? So, but it looked beautiful. They all kind of look similar, but that is wonderful.
Good morning,
Hello,
Wanda.
Wanda.
So what is today going to look like for you? Today is spring equinox. Some people don't even do any, like they just that's another day. And I kind of get that way too with certain things, even the first day of summer or first day of winter or whatever. But let's make it something special. Let's say, what am I going to spring into today? I'm going to spring into myself. I'm going to step into my greatness, and I'm going to spring in to do that. So, what interesting things might you be doing today? How about that? We'll figure that piece of it out. What do you think, Gladiator Guru? What's your day going to be like today? Because you're in charge of the baby, right? Not the new baby.
No, right after the show's done, I'm taking her to school. So that's why I was this morning getting myself in her lunchbox and her little blinky, not blinky, and all that little stuff that I thought I left behind over 30 years ago. But here we are. So um, that's what it looks like. And then I got to go to the studio and put some stuff together. But what are we doing this spring fling moving forward? It's just creating. Remember, I started the my word for this year was discernment, and just getting back in line, because when you ask God for something, He gives you trials and tribulations to see if you're worthy of it. And I asked for discernment, and I had to catch myself a couple times when the judging went a little beyond with anger. So last night I was sitting here writing. It's so funny for today, and I was like, I fell back on the one word, and I'm trying to think back on what things they were. And there were things I shouldn't have really gotten that upset. But I think when something happens 2 or 3 times and you've already told the person and it happens again, you get angry, but you don't even know what you're angry at. You're angry at them, or am I angry at me for tolerate? It was just a whole whatever. But so going forward is just putting all that energy, transferring all that energy in the creating of the art in whatever medium it is, whether it's writing, painting, creating teas, bringing my coffee roaster back. It's just about that. It's just about um, creating into abundance for the next couple months, and then continuing when I come back from Spain, God willing.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
can't forget about Spain.
I just want to share what Gail put out there. So Gail said, I'm going to spring into starting a new life, leaving treatment behind. Today is my final treatment, and I look forward to emerging new. Congratulations, Gail. That's wonderful. What a way to end. Like this is the last day, and you're going to spring into your new life today. So that's wonderful. We're very happy for you. It's been a tough road. Any treatment's tough. but you've handled yourself like nobody's heard anything, with regards to how challenging it's been, which just speaks volumes of your strength, that you're not constantly in everybody's face. You chose to take that transformational path, which is great. It sucked. Yeah, I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. But today's the last day, so good for you. We're sending you lots of love.
It's the last
Lots.
day.
Mhm.
And you've encouraged us. I know it sucked. I
Yes.
could only imagine it. Looking bad as Buddha. She's been ill, really bad since yesterday, and she still popped up like slut magic today.
Actually,
But
since
so,
Sunday. Since
you
Sunday.
know, but you pulled us on Saturday. You pulled through, and then you would give messages to others. And sometimes, we're just we're the messengers. We're that person. And yes, Bridget, I read it. Pets have to adjust, and Dior is gonna have to have a whole new adjustment. But decluttering, detail cleaning around the house. I love when I hear people say that, because people are afraid when I clean their house because I throw it away. I throw stuff away that I've know it's been there. I think decluttering the house is purging, and to purge is to spring forward. So, salud.
This is nice too, what Gail wrote. She said, I have a tribe that shined
Yes.
for me when I was unable to shine myself. Yeah, that's fantastic. Like truly. That's because it's hard enough to just get out of bed when you're feeling so lousy, because it just takes everything out of you when you're getting treatments like that. But to have people that are there to help pick you up and shine your light for you, that's wonderful. It's actually really nice. What you wrote is really, really nice. I like that a lot.
What, the tribe that shine for me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, and Gail, I could understand where you're coming from, because there were many nights that I slept 2.5, 3 hours before I had to come on Viva, or that I wasn't feeling well. And I don't know. I think the Buddha could attest that those were the days when I was the most talkative. That's when I made sure to get up and dragging my ass and putting my makeup on or whatever. And sometimes the showing up part is all you really need to get everything just either growing to where it's supposed to, or releasing what it no longer needs or what shouldn't be there. So I think that's one of the biggest things, is showing up for yourself no matter where you're at, instead of saying, oh, I don't feel good today, or I don't want to be bothered with people. Because every show we've been on, and whatever it is you've been going through, you've always participated hugely. So
yeah, yeah,
that's what we say,
absolutely.
namaste, I honor your soul. And Prima
Yeah,
Chanel, it's right here in Howe Ave in Shelton.
yep. Her studio, her new place. Did you get it painted and everything?
It's painted today. I put my little chandelier up, and then just some stuff that's coming in. A mural that I want to put up against the whole back wall, but it hasn't arrived. It's supposed to arrive Sunday, but it hasn't. So I'm kind of like, but I said, it's gonna come when it's supposed to come, when I have somebody to actually put this shit up. But yeah, that's how it is.
Did they
So
put the
I
window in? Did
know
they put the
that
window?
we're looking for that. We found a couple at Habitat for Humanity. Do you know how expensive Habitat for Humanity is? Ridiculously disgusting. We saw one
Really?
chair used magenta at 179. We
Yeah,
found
that's great.
two of those chairs at Wayfair, the exact chairs as a set, from Wayfair. I mean, on Marketplace, looking very nice. Like the other one looked like it was a little worn in the butt area for $75. And I'm like, people are, be careful out there. There's a lot of people going through something. I bought this chandelier, well, crystal. The fluorescent lights in the office that are very depressing. Well, Home Depot had one, but it's all crystal. It's long. And I bought it because I have a high table for the center of the studio, where I'm either gonna bag my tea mixtures, and Iris can cut her fabric. So I wanted it right there. So I seen it in Home Depot on clearance for $56. It's 229. So I was like, let me sleep on it, because I didn't, I not impulsive in spending like that anymore. catch the last word. But I saw it on Marketplace the very next day. Somebody said paid 229, selling for 200. Now, if you don't know better, somebody would say, "Oh, it's beautiful. It's new in a box. Let me buy it." So be careful what you're doing out there with some of that stuff. But yeah,
Good. I'm
look at
glad.
Chanel. She's inviting Bridget to go help her purge. He goes to stay shopping freaking weekend and bring something back all the time. Drives me. Oh, I couldn't do it. But yeah. So so let's go into it. What do you have for spring fling, badass?
Well, I think we just have to consider the fact that we talked about doing this segment so that it was regarding um, what does the first day of spring mean, like what does spring mean in general, but today's the first day. So even though we've been sort of like some of the areas have been already moving towards that spring, like we've had flowers nonstop here, we've had stuff budding, there's all kinds of birds singing. This has been happening since February, but some areas it takes a little longer. If it's a little colder, it's going to take a little longer. But spring represents birth, rebirth, renew. And that is what this whole month is. The whole month of March is the becoming. It's becoming. It's what are you going to become? So instead of just looking at this day as just any old day, that it's March 19th and it's just, oh, yeah, it's the first day of spring, whatever. Why not actually make it mean something to you? Like, think about that newness, that renew, that I get a second chance. Like life kind of goes to sleep or looks like it even dies off over the
Mm-hmm.
winter. But then in the spring, it just comes back to life automatically. So we have to look at that and say, okay, what did I kind of die off maybe during the winter or go to sleep with during winter? And what can I rebirth this go round? And maybe it was something that you just never really did last year. And you said to yourself, you know what, this is going to be the year. This is going to be the year that I'm going to
Yes.
rebirth, because like 2022, I was supposed to move. And then my father got sick and I canceled the move. And in February of 2023, I didn't know where I was going to go. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen. It was kind of depressing. And then having a conversation with my sister, then all of a sudden by May, it was already decided. Actually, it was decided even before that. But by May, it was decided where I would end up being because of where she was going to end up being. And by October, we completely relocated, my kids and I. So I might not have thought anything of it towards the end of 2022 because everything had been happening. My father passed away. My mother had a stroke at the beginning of 2023. And it seemed like, I don't know if I'm coming or going. But then the opportunity came, and that shifted a lot of things, not just for me, but also for my two kids. And it's really allowed us to do things differently and see things differently. And and it's been great. It's been it's been it's been a fun ride. So spring fling, I'm gonna have to do a quiet fling today, quiet spring fling. Because I'm not feeling great, but this week I will make up for it as soon as I start to feel better.
I like what Gail wrote. Magical things happen for me on the first day of spring. I look forward to deeply loving my soul and moving people along their journey of finding self. Yeah,
Nice.
magical things happen, magically orgasmic. And I think that we should always wake up with the purpose of a checklist of self, asking ourselves, are we happy? Because if we're happy, we're healthy. Remember, and always remembering that happy doesn't mean you're going to be smiling and skipping down the road all day. See, people, the misconceptions of words really put you in the nose section of your life, the nosebleed section of your life, because you're misunderstanding your own words. So, choosing to be happy is choosing to be healthy. You're gonna get upset. Everything's not gonna go your way. But I think when you realize the magic of another day of life and things that you can do, you can pick up, you can smell, you can taste, you can hear, you can see, and you can move your ass towards the door or the beach or whatever, that it is magical. So I think we have to stay in that place regardless of the chaos around us, because that's when and only when we can help other people reach a certain area. So I think the spring fling should be the first dance should be with yourself. Take out all the kinks, sweat out all that what's that word I want to use? That winter slumpness. Sweat that out. Release the stagnant energy out of your joints. Reserve that first dance for yourself during the spring fling. Have that
Mm-hmm.
spring fling itself so that then you can share the love and the knowledge with those around you. Because only then is when we're doing what we servants are supposed to do and be of servitude to others. We have to be fully present within ourselves.
And the
And
thing
go ahead.
I was gonna say that the thing is that when we are giving ourselves permission to do that, it gives other people permission to do it as well. So when you're just dusting off the winter, like again, the winter's necessary. It's not saying you have to be in a slump, you have to be asleep, you have to be dead during winter. It just means that you're in a different space, and then with spring comes life. So sometimes it just gives people an extra bit of energy. Like I know for me, I don't mind the winter, but there's a lot of gray days. Sometimes it's too cold, you don't want to go out. Like yesterday was cold here, and it had been pretty warm, and then it was back in the 40s all day, and then this morning it was like 29, and it's slowly working its way up. So I was already done with cold. Like I was already done with it. I preferred the warm, and I'm glad that it's going to be warm. Today's going to be a little warmer, and tomorrow's going to be a little warmer, because it makes me feel invigorated. It makes me want to be outside. It makes me want to feel the sun on my skin, and it motivates me to want to do things. I mean, granted, like I said, when you get a little cold or something like that, you have to take that time to rest for yourself. But other than that, I will still go out sometime today and at least let the sun hit me, even though I'm not feeling great, because it's important for me to sit in that sun and feel that, knowing that this will pass. This is just a little thing. That's it. I just got to get more sleep and rest a little bit more. But if I can't spring today, I will spring tomorrow. And if I still can't spring tomorrow, I'm going to spring every day. I'm going to attempt to spring anytime this week. That's
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. You have to be owning your now and fully present in order for you to say, if I can't do it today, I'm gonna definitely attempt it tomorrow, and if not, then the next day. That means you're fully present in your now, and what better place to be? Like I feel like shit. I'm gonna sit in the sun for a while. I'm just gonna sit there and let the sun heal me, because it is very healing. It's like the change of seasons. It equals to us the change of chapters in our lives. The seasons are not going to wait for you to be ready. Like fall's going to come, you're going to love it. It's autumn, the leaves are changing. You get to wear sweater weather, because after summer, that's all we want is sweater weather.
That's right.
And then forgetting that the gloom of winter is just boom, the couple pages away. Then we like go into a slump, and then spring arrives, and we're like, why isn't it here yet? And it's still cold, and the groundhog lied about a shadow, and we're anticipating the spring. And as you should, but every season is pivotal to the end of the year story that you're going to share. It's just like the chapters in a book. If you miss a chapter, you're really not going to get the ending, are you?
That's right.
And so with every season that comes and every season that passes, you got to be present. Are you going to like them or no? Because we complain as fuck in the summer about how it's so damn hot. We can't even enjoy the beach. The sand was burning our toes, and we keep on and on and on. Then in the winter, it's depressive. It's so gray outside. We can't leave the house unless we're bundled up, you know. So find a happy place at the
Yeah.
beginning of your morning or before you go to bed. Challenge yourself to be aware, and to embrace the love that you have for yourself when you arise in the morning because you woke the fuck up. And if we stop thinking that we're owed something or we can't move forward without this, what are you doing? Just embrace the fact that you are alive and you can walk to the bathroom. You have the arms to wipe yourself. I mean, simple gestures. So when spring comes, like the equinox that the badass Buddha was, thank you for telling us because I'd be forgetting that stuff. Hola, milagrito, ¿cómo está? Then you can have that spring fling with yourself. Start falling in love with yourself again because you know what? It's during this time that the biggest challenges of our exercise regime, of our stretching, all that comes into play because, oh shit, sweater weather's gonna be over. There ain't gonna be nothing to cover us, and that vanity sometimes helps us to become more proactive in our lives. So spring fling it's a very healthy thing to participate in because it gets you moving. And what's movimiento? Movimiento es vida. So once you
Yeah.
start, let me tell you, I just ordered some sneakers. I can't wait till they come because I kept putting it out trying to find the right pair. Was that me just trying to prolong my ass walking my 4 miles every day? So spring, it just has a lot, such an abundance to offer aside from the beauty growing. The badass already witnessed flowers starting to sprout in Tennessee, right? You saw that like last month or something.
Yeah, it was the
Um,
end of February, actually.
like some of the stuff, it's like, okay, something's happening. Let's be on our toes. So when you see something growing that's a little bit out of season, that's if you're seeing it, that's like saying, okay, we can't wait. Time is not our friend. It waits for no one. Let's start. Whatever you wanted to start in March and April, why don't we just start it now? Even if we're writing it down and posting it so we're looking at it every day. What life is showing you, there's no better time than now. And then to spring forward, to have that spring fling would be you noticing what's growing, what's alive and growing around you so you can join that band. Have that fling. Because spring is saying, come on now, I'm here. Let's do this. And what do? Oh, look at something's growing. Okay, so what was I saying? And then we walk away, we don't realize it. And then we're like, why didn't I notice? So let's just have that fling within ourselves and then anticipate it's spring. Okay, and you start beautifying things around you. And when you beautify the things around you,
Yeah.
you're watering your soul and your spirit. It's like when one of the things I wrote when I first my in 2006 when I published my first book and I started signing books and I wrote it and then I was like, oh, and I have it in my email and it says, may your soul sing and your spirit dance. Well, you know what? Spring is here. Let's start singing and dancing, mi gente. Take the shoes, kick off the shoes. Let's just get into it. Let's get into rhythm with nature because nature is the healer of everything we need. Que se sana. Go ahead, Badass.
And the thing is, you were talking about being happy, and you could be happy all year. You could be happy with every season. They're all different, though. They have a different feel to them, and we could either be controlled by that season. Like, well, some people say, well, I can't stand winter, so so there you go. You just set the tone. Can't stand winter. Why can't you stand winter? Oh, I can't stand the cold. I can't stand the snow. Okay. Are you not in a warm house? Are you outside in the cold all the time? Think about people that have to work out there all the time. It doesn't matter what the weather's like. So instead of us being um, grateful for what we have, so yeah, all right. So what I didn't like about down here was we had a lot of gray days in the winter time. And I think that's what gets on my nerves after a while. I like blue skies. I love rain, But when it's just that gray day where it does nothing, it's just cloudy and gray, it's not raining, it's not doing anything, that gets, after a while, if it's like days after days, it can start to affect me. But in the end, I have to say to myself that this is just part of it. This is how winter is down here. Then it is what it is. I can't change that. So why am I going to let it affect me? So I'm going to do stuff that will help me stay the course, stay happy, do the things that need to get done during that time period. And then as we're transitioning into the spring, like what else can I do? My energy levels start to go up. My enthusiasm starts to go up. My drive starts to go up. And it's very cyclical for me. It does this as
Mhm.
spring transitions. It does this as summer transitions. As summer transitions into fall, I love the fall weather. And there's a different type of burst of energy, but I do notice that as I transition from fall to winter, there's a slowdown, and I have to be okay with that slowdown. I have to say that's fine. This is part of who I am, and I have to make it work for me instead of thinking about how much I can't stand it. How many people will say that, oh, I hate the winters here. I can't stand the winters here. Well, then move. Why don't you move to Florida? No, I don't want to. Well, then why are you complaining? You're just making it so much worse for yourself by complaining about that. So just say, what can I do differently in the winter? That, okay, I don't like to go outside. It's a little too cold. So if I just have to go to work and then come home, what can I do at work? What could I do at home that's different? And then as the warmer temperatures go, and I love this one. Sometimes I've heard people say how much they can't stand the cold, they can't stand winter. But as spring is coming along and we get those nice days, they're still inside. They're not even taking advantage of the outside. So I don't understand. To me, I look at that and say, well, if you don't like winter, why are you not out celebrating spring when it's so beautiful outside? Why are you not getting outside? Why are you not admiring what's growing or the bird sounds that are, coming into play? Like, why aren't you taking advantage of that? Because they don't know how. They don't know how to allow themselves to do that. The one thing I will say is nature is my elixir. I love being outside. I don't really care for being outside in the winter. If I have to, I'll do it. And if I have to, I have to bundle myself up. But I like warm weather. So that's what I'm going to take advantage of. And I'm going to be outside. Like yesterday was cold. Today is supposed to be a bit warmer. So I definitely want to get outside and just sort of walk around a little bit, even if it means just getting up from what I was doing, which will be laying around today, and then get out, get some fresh air, and get that 20 minutes of sunlight on my skin.
Please do that because it is. And I've lived in Florida 17 years, but for the first 39, I've lived here in Connecticut. And let me tell you that my favorite days are gloomy, gray, rainy days. I don't care what season we're in. I think it's the survival mode of growing up the way I did, but it's a safe haven for me. And it's like I'm home. Like all the misunderstood uh, emotions that I have, the I can't connect the dot moments and all of that. I don't know. It's a very welcoming day for me. I do not like the sunshine. Florida, I think, overdoes it. It's very conceited and boastful, and and I don't like the beach during the day. I don't like sitting in the sun. It zaps me of my energy. I love going to the beach at night under the moon and the stars. Always have done that. So I love when I hear people say the opposite, because the sun is very healing. And I mean, I go out, I'll walk outside or whatever, but it's not my vitamin D type of thing. But the beauty of all the seasons is that some of us really, really engage in it. Some of us really grow in some of those seasons. Some of us can say, like me, spring and autumn are my favorite, but I love winter. Because winter for me is that waiting room. We go in and we sit and we contemplate. what we've done, where we are, and what we need to do to spring forward. And and then right when the summer comes to an end, we're welcoming autumn, and autumn is teaching us that life and death are just one, and we have to accept it. And we look at the beautiful leaves changing colors, and we don't realize that when they drop they die, because we're too busy caught up in the one thing and not the whole thing. And then winter teaches us we're a whole. So if you're going to think about those leaves changing into those beautiful burnt orange and copper colors, then also they're going to fall, fertilize the ground, feed that tree all winter, and then they're going to sprout back out like slut magic in spring. Why? And that's how we are. So we can't be hard on ourselves, because certain things need to be buried, certain things need to fall off, certain things need to die within us, around us, in order for us to emerge stronger, to evolve smarter. And I think that all the seasons play a major role. And if you know which ones you prefer, then you're so much ahead of the game than you think you are. So I love to hear people talk about their seasons, and what time of day is their favorite, and how they feel during another certain time. And I'd rather hear that than people just talk about, I can't wait for the weekend. Because you live every day. And every day you have a few moments to spare to walk out into the sun, like the badass Buddha said. And we have to just learn who the fuck we are so that we can then teach. And let me tell you, when you know who you are, you don't need to market yourself to bring people to you. Those people will be like a magnet, because now it's your time to teach it. It's your time to be involved around other people who are also evolving the way you have. Because that's the magic of life. There's no coincidences. But you have to show up for yourself in every season. You have to turn the page to each chapter in your life and fully understand what you've been through, what you're going through, and what's the possibility of where you're going to be. And entertain it, but always stay solid in your now. Because you can look back and say, oh, I fucked up on that one. I thought a little too hard on that one. Or I didn't give myself enough credit for what I did back there. So that's why today, I'm doing what I wanted to do, but it's less exciting because I have not acknowledged my arrival. I have not acknowledged all of the hoops and the flipping in the rivers and swimming down to shore to get to where I'm at today. So then it like narrows your window on what you're planning to do in your tomorrow. So be fully present in your today. Look back and say, oh my God, I did overcome all that. And
Yeah.
take a moment and celebrate yourself in your now. Okay, you didn't do it then. You didn't want to sound cocky. You don't want to be vain. You didn't want to, or maybe you didn't believe in yourself enough. But if you're here today, don't put one foot in tomorrow. Just look back. It's your archive. It's your file cabinet. Look back. And then you could say, damn, I did do it. I didn't. I was so caught up in the actual doing it that I didn't look back and say, "Wow, I did it." Celebrate yourself today, because then it widens up that narrow path you have for your visions for tomorrow. But stay with both feet planted in today. Not half-assing it in yesterday's bullshit or in tomorrow's imaginary moments, in today. And then you can say, "Well, I did this. This is what I'm doing because this is what I want to do." That's how you live abundantly in your truth. And it is just that spring fling, because spring awakens all of us, everything in us. Even that little man on the boat, he's like, oh, it's warmer weather.
I definitely like. I love seeing, the leaves when they start to the buds. They start creating buds, and I love seeing the flowers coming up. Like we have daffodils have been out for like 2 weeks now. I didn't even know daffodils could stay out that long. And then there's other stuff growing, and I don't recognize the leaves. So I'm like, oh, I'm curious to see what kind of flowers these are. And it's just wonderful being out there. I cut the grass on Saturday. I think it was Saturday. No, Friday and Saturday afternoon, and it felt good to do that. Like it felt really nice to be able to do that. And it just, to me, it's just, that's that transition, and
Mm-hmm.
saying, oh, I can't wait to start working on the yard, because that's the weather that we're getting. So we could start making it all nice and beautiful and whatever. And I'm envisioning spring fling. Remember when we were kids and you used to do that, gym, they would often make us do that leap, where you would stand still. It's the standing broad jump or something like that, I think it was called. And you would stand there and then you would jump to see how far you could get with both your feet. And do that today. Like, what the heck? Just do it today. Just go outside today and just do one of those jumps when you were a kid. Fling into that spring off.
Mm-hmm.
Get into it. Think in that way, so that you will, like Kathy was saying, you do something different. When you do something different, it really shifts things. True enough. We do the same thing over and over again, expect a different outcome. It's just never going to happen. So do something different today. Enjoy this first day of spring. Do something that you don't normally do. Go eat somewhere that you don't normally eat. Take a route, on a drive back home from work in a way that you don't normally go. Depending on what the weather's like, if it's decent enough out, open the windows a little bit. Let the car air out and just sit in that present moment. Put a different song on that you haven't listened to in a while. But just get out there today and just embrace the fact that it's the spring equinox, that it's equal. You're balanced. You are embracing who you are and your life, and then you're going to spring into action.
Yes. Wake up. I don't know. For those who have been on for a while, say yay or nay, but how many of you wake up and are grateful for the day and give gratitude before
Yeah.
your feet touch the ground? How many of you are doing what I've said we all should do a couple years ago, which is wake up in the morning, go, good morning, I love you.
I don't do that part.
How many are loving themselves?
I love myself. I just don't kiss myself.
So every day, the question is, I acknowledge myself. We expect that from people to love us, to show gratitude towards us, to hold our hands, to embrace us. Why aren't you doing that to yourself? And let
Yeah.
me tell you, there was times that I rushed up and I didn't do it. And throughout the day, I felt sluggish because it's like my body got used to that recognition every morning, that love, that gratitude for getting my spirit up and walking to where I had to go. Because your mind is one thing, but without your body, you ain't going nowhere. So try it. I think that loving on yourself, and then how I've been saying since what? It's almost a year now that I've gained this weight, and I'm like, what? And I think that celibacy thing got to be over with pretty soon. So I tell it, we're safe. We're safe. It's been a lot of changes in my life this last year, and the adjustment is taking its time. So I don't know what, but yeah, we have to be grateful. We have to um, know when it's time to change. You don't have to wait every year to be a new person. You can choose to do that. If you don't want to do it every day, then do it every season. Because that season that you're alive in is there. You're learning something you're never going to learn again.
Yeah.
And then you bring it into the next season and you grow. It's called evolving.
Yes.
Nothing is a mistake, nothing is a failure, everything is a lesson. So, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Pity parties are only 24 hours. Get your ass up and says, what did I learn? Why did this have to happen? Why was I being kind and these people stepped all over me? It's not a woe is me moment. It's like, why? What did I do or not do that I gave them the permission,
Yeah.
or I
Exactly.
authorized them to do what they did? I don't care if it's your own mother. When you do not show up for yourself, people are going to dictate your life.
That's right.
And let me tell you, I've met people who are okay with that because then it gives them a reason to complain, bitch, and moan. And
Yep.
let's not be those people. Those people are just, they just, they suck the life out of you. And they know it, but that's all that's where they want to be. So when you look at those people, don't judge them. That's where they want to be.
Yes.
And it's a reflection as to, are you where you want to be? When you're around those people, that's the question that's resonating back at you. You're looking at them like ugh, because I know I am. And but then the question is, oh my God, they're there because you know what? They've been like this for years, as long as I've known them. So then you got to question yourself: am I where I want to be? And if not, then why? Why haven't I reached where I'm supposed to be? What's preventing me? What's the self-sabotaging? When you want to fling right into your you got to do spring cleaning, mi gente.
Yes.
You got to
Yes.
let go. You got to let
Absolutely.
go. Yeah. There's routine. Is that routine working for you? Might have been the same routine. Let me tell you something. I know this man that ate for 7 years. Well, it was at the 7 year point when we were discussing it. I don't know if it's still going on. He ate the same bologna sandwich with the same potato chip and the same juice. I said, for 7 years, you never veered off that. He's like, no, it's easy. I got used to it. That's 7 years you cheated your palate out of orgasmic moments of tasting something. Your palate didn't dance. Those taste buds were never really truly awakened. You're like the Walking Dead over here. But and then well, I never had the opportunity. Yes, the hell you did. So it's like, don't ask yourself when you find yourself judging somebody. You're in that position for a reason, but it's the lazy part of us is the one that shows up. Oh, look at them. When actually you were blessed enough to be in a position to see that, to hear that, and then to feel what you're feeling because of how that negative energy made you feel. But it's for you to say, what am I doing? Where am I in my life? Have I self sabotaged and not made that decision? Have I been lazy and didn't take that move? So to me, everything is a learning experience. And as I said earlier, I said my word for this year was discernment, because there's some stuff about me that I gotta in the mix that I have to um, get to know. Um, like commitment and responsibility. I never liked those words. I think they were just made up and thrown at us for some reason. I don't know. So, and I found myself being more judgmental. It's like when they say when you pray for strength or when you pray for patience, God's gonna send you trials and tribulations so that you can earn that patience. It's not just going to give it to you. You got to earn it. So the spring fling with the equinox, whatever you're doing, do it differently. I guess that's the message for today. If you're here and you want to spring forward into something beautiful, into something bigger, into more books, into whatever it is you're doing, you got to change what the hell you've been doing. It's time for a revamp in our lives. When you redo your house, the furniture's still good, but you need a change. That's what we need to do with our spirit. That's what spring is telling us. Okay, this is time for your soul to dance right into this new spirit of joy and confidence, and that, yes, I'm gonna fucking do that this year.
And that's what today is. Today is the rediscovering the becoming of self. Because on Thursday, we're going to talk about the love affair, who you It's all about me, baby. This is Gladiator Guru wrote this. After the rediscovery of self comes the love affair with the woman which lives within. So first you have to discover who she is, and then you've got to fall in love with her. And if you're already falling in love with her, if you've already fell in love with her, rediscover her anyway, because maybe there's something new. Maybe there's something you didn't know, because that's what happens. We forget ourselves. We're reminded of things. Go back to things that you loved when you were younger, and think, does this still work for me? Is this something that I still like? And if not, it's okay. You've grown, you've moved on. And if it is, maybe it was something you haven't even done for ages because you just did it when you were younger, and then you just grew up and got busy and blah blah blah. But rediscover yourself, who you are, what it is that you love, what it is that you love to do, and then fall in love with that person again. And we're gonna fall in love with that person again on Thursday.
And it's not hard. When you get rid of ay bendito, I want to do this, but bendito, I can't. My grandson, my grandkid, my partner, my job, my car. And he said, when you are with the ay bendito, you're telling yourself you're unlovable, you're not important, you don't matter. Because when you put yourself first, everything falls into place. Not put yourself first selfishly. There's a big difference. You just got to figure out who you want to be. We can't tell you that.
Right.
What I can tell you though is when you make yourself a priority, things will fall into place. You will see people for who they really are because you stared the devil in the face and says, I got me. And that's your reflection, because we're our own worst enemy. And when we want to stay con el ay bendito, then we allow people, oh, but they just want to help me. Well, I'm just going to use them for this, but then that's it. And that's not how it happens.
You lose your power. You play a victim.
You give your power away, and then you want to sit there like a little bitch and dump your shit on me, and that's not happening because I'm so over people just, and I've stopped that already anyway. When they call and they just want to, and you know what? And then they're like, okay, I gotta go. And it's like they came, I'm not a garbage disposal, because then that energy stays on you. Gail, you're going to Colorado and then Vermont, and that's awesome. And you're planning for your next trip. Hola, Nada. But we have to. We've had many shows where we can't walk into this new spring fling carrying all of autumn and winter's bullshit and then expect to watch the daffodils grow or listen to the daisies giggle over there at the corner. So what you do, you got to let go. You got to honor it. You got to store it in your memory, store it in your heart, and let it go. Because how else are you going to be prepared to receive what is meant for you in this next season? See, we're all born with a purpose. We will all die leaving a legacy, but it's up to you to write those chapters. And if you just want to be taking up space and then complaining of what you didn't get and what wasn't given to you, what opportunities they bypassed you, you stay all the way over there, far in the other corner. Because then all that negative energy is just brewing to take away from the people. We can't do that. Nada said trauma dumping. Yeah, we all got trauma. We've all lived in drama. We've all experienced chaos. Okay, we all have a story to tell, but every story is different of that courage, of that strength that you had and you recognized and you pulled from the depths of your soul past all that darkness that was surrounding you and you got your ass out. That's the true story that we all want to hear. Because we all got a sad story to tell. But everybody's victory story is different. And everybody's victory dance just makes everybody around you happy. Because then we remember, oh shit, I got myself out of that too. So, must I too love the woman in me? Yes, absolutely. We all have that feminine and masculine energy, David. We all do. So I just think the spring fling, launch yourself into a brighter season that's coming. Allow the sun to shine. As the badass Buddha said, open that window, let that fresh air in to remove all the stagnant air that's been, in the corners of your house. Move your furniture around. Take ice in a bucket and pour water and mop your house with that ice water. And then just all that heavy negative energy that's stagnant in your house, that ice water is gonna go poop. Make sure you open windows. And just kitty corner some shit so that the energy will just go like this around those corners. All those wives' tales are true. Make them work for you. But you got to be present and you got to be active, proactive in your life. In order for you to have that spring fling that's going to fill you up with so many orgasmic delights, you got to be present. You got to want it. And you got to do the work.
Yep. Well, thank you all for being here today. And we will be back with the second part of this, the love affair. So we're going to talk to you about falling in love with yourself and reminding you how fabulous you are. And we'll talk about that on Thursday. So thanks everyone for being here today. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
Yes, and David and Melissa, I just wanted to say hello. And real quick, Iris did say she's discovering herself in many of the talents. It will make time for it in myself because I never want to lose me again. And I think that's where we're going, mi gente. Let's make it great. This one life we have. If you haven't started before, let's start today, coño. Today. And as the Gladiator Guru says, mi gente, remember to breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.